y'all, Brandon here, and welcome back. So I missed y'all so much. I'm so sorry that it's been like a minute since I recorded a video, y'all. From the last updates to now, I've been busy working pretty much. So now that I got a little bit of time under my belt, I figured I will come on here. It's the perfect time to give y'all some type of update or tips, tricks, whatever it is that I feel like is necessary for y'all to know. Because it listen, it just is. So I really feel like this video was needed for new flight attendants that are fresh out of training and really how to transition from training into actually starting to fly and having your IOE, because it's really that gray area in training that we don't discuss as much as I feel like is necessary. So that's why I really want to kind of be that person and that voice for people in this situation. So I have my handy dandy notes here. I'm gonna try to keep this quick and not hold up too much of your time. So these were just some things that I noticed that were very, very important right after training that I wish I had heard a little bit. So here we go. Number one is be on time. That is something that they do not play about in training. So if you are watching this and you're straight out of training and kind of ready to start flying, they don't play about that. So whatever rules they had in training, make sure you keep up with those, because you will get points, you will get documented, whatever it is, if you are just 1 minute late. Okay, so if you have your IOE, if you haven't had it yet, make sure you're on time for that, because you can't get cut just because you are late for your IOE. I've seen it happen. Don't let it happen to you. Okay, when it comes down to checking in, make sure you are checking in after you go through security and not a minute after you're supposed to. Give yourself time to be on time. Early is on time is late. However they word that, stick to it, okay? And mainly, again, because those check-in times are monitored. So they can see exactly where you are. If you go through security, they see what time that is. They see what time you check in. So you really want to try not to break the system, because there is no breaking it. They have eyes and ears everywhere. This is not to scare you, but this is just to really hold yourself accountable, because if you are that late person, you gotta change that, okay? So make sure you're on time. So if you don't check in on your phone, you really wanna make sure that you check in as soon as you get to your office. So once you get in, say hey to people, but you need to make sure you're checked in and actually click submit. I've seen that before. Someone signed into the system, but they did not hit submit. So make sure you are not getting distracted and you do exactly what you're supposed to do, so that way you are showing your attendance, okay? And you're not having to worry about going back and getting points for being late when you are there on time. So make sure you do that. So another part of being on time is making sure that you give yourself an extra amount of time just in case you do go to the employee parking lot. So if you do park, give yourself an extra 20 minutes. I always give myself more than enough time. I'm always checked in at least 40 minutes before, 30 to 40 minutes. To me, that might sound like a lot to somebody else, but I really just do not want to, I don't like that stress feeling of being late. So just make sure you do that, because I can honestly say that typically I can park and be through security within 20 minutes, and then you can check in. So that's why it's like, just give yourself that extra time, and then you're good to go. You really got nothing else to worry about. Number two, everyone starts out on reserve. No matter what airline it is, you are going to be on reserve, meaning you are going to be on call. Depending on if maybe they will allow you to pick your reserve hours, maybe they will pick it for you. In my case, they picked it for me, even though they gave us an option to pick it. I guess I didn't do it quick enough. I'm not too sure. But they chose it for me. It was fine. Wasn't my favorite, but it is what it is. But everyone does start off that way, and the amount of time that you will be on reserve really depends on your seniority. So because I'm based in Cleveland, our class actually opens up Cleveland. So these new classes that are coming in are just boosting our seniority up more and more. So I was not on reserve for even a month. That's just the luck that I had with being in that class for this particular base. It's a new base. Now, somewhere else, Vegas, Dallas, Miami, gonna be a completely different story. There's no telling how long you will be on reserve. Everyone starts off that way. There's really no way around it. In the meantime, while you are on reserve, I do recommend that you get familiar with like the websites. There's so many different kinds on how to. Sorry, that was somebody's like car alarm or something. On how to bid for your schedules, how to just navigate through different things, and maybe checking your pay stubs and seeing how to find that information, how to order uniforms, stuff like that. Just make sure you play around with the sites in between all this time, just because it's gonna be best when you need it instead of are looking for it, you can't find it, but instead you're like, oh, I know exactly where this is. I don't know whose car alarm is. I don't know what they're playing with. So, last thing. Last thing would be to keep up with the updates. There's a lot of different updates going on. They're always adding, changing something. Make sure you keep up with that within that reserved time. And this is mainly this time that you are on call and you don't have any schedule. So it may seem like you're sitting at home a lot, which you will be, but don't just use that time to just kind of lollygag. Make sure you are at least keeping up with the like emails and stuff like that, because they will be expecting you to know this stuff each and every day and not just on the day that you are scheduled. Number three is to utilize your mentor. So every one of us, at least at my airline, we do get assigned a mentor as soon as we graduate. Use them. I don't talk to mine every single day. This isn't a buddy buddy kind of thing, but there are times when you do need to contact them. If you can't find something out on your own, if you've really just tried to look all online and you've reached out to a couple of classmates and they're not able to help you, just reach out to them. That's what they're there for, And they also may be able to help you out with certain things. And if you have any just random questions that aren't necessarily not what if questions. Don't hit them up with some what ifs. But there may be times where you need to just get their advice on, hey, I'm about to start my IOE. What do you recommend I do? What should I bring? Kind of thing. Again, it's really nice to have them there, kind of like in your back pocket, but at the same time, you don't expect to talk to them every single day. So because they are still flight attendants as well. And also, if you do need to voice any concerns, I would definitely use them for that. They'll point you in the right direction. If they are not able to help with something quick, they will point you in the right direction. They'll give you whatever emails you need, any contact information for regional managers, your base supervisor, that kind of thing. So they are very, very resourceful. So just make sure you use them when you need to, and just simply just stay in touch with them as much as possible. If something does happen, just reach out to them just to make sure that they are on board, and that way they know exactly what's going on with you, and things like that. So just use your mentor. I just wanted to point that one out because they can be very, very helpful. Number four is something, I don't know if this is best for this video or the next, but I'll throw it in here, is learning about the next airport if it's possible. So wherever you are headed, try your best to know about that one and exactly where our employee office is, because I have gotten lucky multiple times heading to a place. I was there heading to Vegas one time, and I was on a flight with the flight attendants, and that's where they were based. So I said, hey, where's the office? They told me exactly where to go, what to look for, and it was just smooth. I found it right away, to be honest. So I would not have known that if I hadn't run into them, and if I hadn't thought to ask that question. So just make sure, if you can, if you know anybody that has already gone, that have already gone, then just check with them to see exactly where to go and just how to navigate through that airport, where their security is for us, all types of things. It will save you a bunch of time, anxiety, it'll save you a bunch of everything. So make sure you are finding that out if you can. If you can, get that information ahead of time. Number five is very important. It is how to navigate through the airports with our privileges. When you're in uniform, let me take this back. Once you get your ID, you are no longer a regular person. Once you get your work ID, your badge, you're not a regular person anymore, no matter if you're traveling, if you're there for work, leisure, you are not a regular person. Let me just say that multiple times because it takes a minute for you to kind of get that out of your head because it took me a few times to realize I'm a freaking flight attendant. Why am I standing in this line? One of those kind of things. Do not do that to yourself. You will learn about the employee lines, and even if you do get random through security, that we don't wait in the back of the line. We go straight to the line. Yes, I'm cutting. I have every right to cut, but you don't have that attitude. But it's a privilege. Again, you've gone through enough training. You've gone through enough that you have every single right to go straight to the fight. It's kind of sweet. It really is. And again, it's just the way you do it. Again, do not be rude about it. Do not still say excuse me, but don't say get out of my way. Like I'm here. You don't have to do nothing like that. Like just make sure that you are being respectful. I have to go. I have to get in front of you. I'm so sorry. Like it's one of those kind of things. You can say sorry if you want to, or just excuse me, like I said. But a lot of times I kind of don't. I just kind of just go along, and nobody really says anything. But it is what it is. And also another thing is you will find out that I learned the hard way. Everybody doesn't know everything about everything. So TSA will not know about our security offices. I was actually the first person that told one that we have one because I was asking where it was. And he was like, I didn't even know you guys had that. And I'm just like, yeah, so I take it that you don't know where I'm supposed to be. I didn't say that. But I'm thinking like, okay, don't ask TSA about this. Don't ask the people at the ticket counter about TSA. I thought they would know where our security was. They didn't. So imagine kind of like your first time you go up to the counter because I hadn't had my badge yet. So just say that part. I didn't have my badge yet. They didn't even know where we were supposed to go for security. And then security didn't know where the offices were. And just it was kind of just this back and forth where I'm like, okay, that's what kind of got into my head as far as making sure I asked a flight attendant where we were supposed to go way ahead of time before I even stepped foot into that airport. Let me just tell you, it makes all the difference. So eventually, like I say, you will have it down pat. You will be able to just breeze through these airports. And this is mainly if you get to that airport first and you have to go through security. This is not if you just doing a quick turn, you're not going through the airport security. But if, like for example, I did a non-rev to Vegas, so I was going through the security, then headed to Denver, had to go through the security. So you start to figure out these airports and also keep note of it. I don't think I wrote that down. Keep notes of where security is for us and how we have to get through it, just landmarks to kind of look for, maybe restaurants, stuff like that. So that way you know exactly where to go just in case it's a while before you go back to that airport security. Another thing is, I know I'm saying all of these are important, but they truly are important. Number 6. Wait, did I say? 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, we're on number 6. Practice your announcements. Okay, you are going to get your announcement book. Practice those announcements while you are on reserve, because when it comes down to reading the safety demo, if you're reading that, if you're tripping up over your words, it's cool. The flight attendants will kind of giggle at it, but at the same time, let's get through this, okay? We've been here enough let's get through this safety demo. Practice reading that. Read as many times as you need to, and keep reading it until you don't make any mistakes. Because again, you are reading this out loud over the plane. Everybody is hearing you. So if you have trouble with reading out loud, Lord knows I do, read that a million times because it won't change. That's what makes it a lot easier. It will not change. The only thing that will change is the names of the flight attendants. Besides that, nothing is changing with that announcement. Also, just any other announcement that we have to make throughout the flight, please, please just keep up with that. It will flow so much easier. It will sound like you're talking and not reading. Just keep up with that. Do your best to read those because for your IOE, if you haven't done that yet, you will be having to read that, and now you will have your coach with you while you are reading. And when you are speaking and reading your announcements, make sure you are speaking slower, not fast, and loud and clear, because some of those microphones, and I hate that I'm saying this in a way of because I've been flying. Some of those microphones on the planes are different from others. Some of them are turned down, the volume, some are turned up. So if you are wearing a mask, like a face mask, if you just have a soft baby voice, I'm not too sure. If you know there's any reason or any way that you won't be heard, please make sure you are just speaking louder. Okay? Just please. And just another tip, should be in the next video. I'm gonna try to include it. If we're doing one flight one way and we say, hey, can you read that louder next time? I can barely hear you in the middle of this plane, and you read it the same way. Please don't be that person. Just please read it loud and clear. Cool. Alright, we are on number 7. Number 7 is pack food. Y'all, I don't know if it's about the altitude, I don't know if it's what it is, but you will be hungry. Like, I used to be able to fast for days. I don't know. I'm going to try to get back to it, but when it comes down to working, it's like for some reason you just get so hungry on those planes and you are starving at like 8 a.m. And normally at home, I don't really eat breakfast until about 11 at home on a normal day. On that plane, I've probably eaten something twice. It just is what it is. It's really no way for me to explain that. Maybe I need to Google it. Maybe I need to ask my doctor. But you will get hungry, so please pack something. That airport food is expensive. Do not get in the habit, unless you got it like that, of just spending money at the airport, grabbing quick snacks. It's unnecessary. Make sure you are going to the grocery store, getting your favorite snacks. Make sure you are buying in bulk where it makes sense with the amount that you're getting. As I mentioned before, when you have a turn, you don't really have a chance to get off the plane. So as soon as we land, people leave. 9 times out of 10 minutes later, not even 15, people are getting back on. You don't have time to always get off. If we land early, get to the gate early, you may then. But other than that, don't bank on that because that does not happen often. So make sure you are bringing some type of food with you so that way you don't have to worry about not being able to eat while you're at work. Because they are some long days, okay? They can be some long hours. I don't want to say days. They can be some long hours between the time you get to work to the time that last flight deplanes. It can be some time. Don't do that to yourself, and just make sure you are bringing exactly what it is that you like to eat. And then another tip, I don't think I put it on here, is to make sure that you bring a lot of dry stuff, because we do have the hot water that's on the flight. We don't have microwaves. So if you have something like oatmeal or a cup of noodles or just something like that, that will take you a long way. If you have leftovers that you don't mind just kind of eating room temperature, but you don't want to really bring something that can really go bad if you don't keep it in the fridge for a couple hours. Bring stuff that can have, I don't want to say shelf life, I don't know the word, but just to make sure that you have something that you can eat a couple hours later that's still good, you're not going to get sick. Bring stuff like that. Dry stuff is the best for me. because if I don't eat it, I don't have to worry about refrigerating it or something like that. Or just trying to make sure I eat it just so it doesn't go bad, because then you're wasting money. And we're first year flight attendants. You ain't got money to waste, okay? Don't do that to yourself, all right? Cool beans. Number 8 is having durable luggage, y'all. For training, they told us all about Travel Pro. If you are in training, out of training, you've heard of Travel Pro a zillion times. Everybody loves that brand. I don't have any of it. I got this regular brand from Amazon. I do like it, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's sometimes the wheels are difficult to push. I almost feel like I'm forcing it to move versus it just kind of wheeling on its own. Also, when it comes down to your luggage, I mean, not your luggage, your duffel bag, make sure you have a good size duffel bag. Mine is much smaller, so I'm only really able to have like the perfect space for what I need, nothing more, because it's just simply not that big of a size. So you want to make sure you do, because if you have extra things that you bring on with you for on the flight, you may not have room in that for everything plus your stuff in your bag. So just make sure you have that. Just it's very important. And I'm really just here to tell you that I noticed that right away. I was like, oh gosh. I mean, I didn't think about the size of the duffel bag. I just knew I needed one. Number 8 is when you are in training, make sure you order enough uniforms. They will have a certain amount that you need to order, but get a little bit more than that just so you can switch some things up, or get multiple pieces of each thing if you really like how it fit. For example, I really like the pants. I really wish that I had purchased 2 pair, because now I only have one of each of everything I have. I have like the pants, the one dress, one this, one that. So make sure you have that, because I personally want to dry clean my stuff, and I don't have enough pieces to dry clean this stuff and then wear more. So just do that for that purpose. Even if you don't dry clean, you're just washing on your own. You really you don't want to have just one, and then just in the regular world, you don't have one pair of jeans, one top, one pair of shoes. So make sure you have enough of this stuff. Again, when it comes down to them allowing us to try these things on, make sure that I would recommend that you really take your time and not just hurry up and rush and just pick something. Make sure you like it. Make sure you're sitting down in it when you are trying the stuff on, because we were just rushing so much because it was during our lunch hour that I never thought to sit down in the pants to see if I liked it. And I love the pants, don't get me wrong. But I wish I had done that with the skirt and with this and with that. And so now I'm like, I just have these pieces that I feel like I'm constantly wearing. And now that it's getting to the point where I really want to clean them, I don't have that much more stuff. So I'm going to either have to wear one outfit for a while until I get the first thing out the cleaners, and then switch the pieces until I get more stuff. So that's just something that I really, really, really recommend. Oh, last but not least, number 10 is prepare your finances for training, also out of training. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this video up with the finances, because for my airline, we did not get paid for training, and I'm assuming that's just because it was a short period of time. And also, they tried to say that they provided food and housing, hotel for us. So that's the reason why they didn't pay us. So, you think, okay, that's fine and dandy. All right, cool. But at the same time, yes, that's cool, but you're also still not getting paid. So if you don't have a second income in your household that can hold things down, if you are paying all your bills by yourself, prepare yourself for that ahead of time. Okay, so basically, This is if you know, like as soon as you go to your interview and they say, okay, you're hired, you know, you should be getting yourself together like around that time. Don't wait until you're like right before that, because it will affect you. Okay, you will notice a difference. You will notice a difference. Don't do that to yourself. Okay, just please don't. It ain't easy. Let me just be the first to tell you, it's not easy going from getting paid at a regular job all these hours, high pay for each hour that you're getting paid for, and then going from that to basically nothing. So make sure you prepare for that, okay? All right. Don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't say nothing. Prepare yourself, please. Because even still, even when you are on reserve, you are not getting paid like a normal person. You're only getting paid a certain amount of hours per month. This is speaking for my airline. This is not me just talking in general. You're getting paid, and this is for how it is at the moment. So if you've seen this video in a year and things are different, this is speaking for right now. Things are how it is right now. You get paid for a certain amount of time, for a certain amount of hours each month, which is not considered a normal full-time job. It's basically like it's like half. It's like a part-time job. So having real bills on a part-time job don't cut it. Okay, so either one, you can do like me, which is go back to your part-time job that you had before you even left for training, and so that way you can have these two different incomes, or you maybe maybe you live with your parents, or you're living with somebody that kind of helps you out a little. But if you don't have that, this is why I say I think it's very important that you do prepare for this way ahead of time. Don't wait too long. Don't wait until the very last minute to kind of try to get all this stuff together, because it's gonna be stressful. So don't do that. Like I said, have two incomes, whether it's two of your own or two already in the household. However, do not just rely on this alone. It's very impossible, to be honest. It's no way that anybody can survive off of the amount that you get starting off from training to having a line and having a schedule and working more hours. There's no way. There's no freaking way. Let me just tell you. So prepare yourself, and yes, and again, I'm really trying to stress that out because I got lucky and I had a line less than a month later. Again, based on where you are located, based on where your base is, there's no telling when you will have a line and get paid like a regular job. There's no telling. So that's why I say always have some type of backup and don't rely just on this income alone. You can't do it. Make sure you just prepare yourself. That's all I can say. That's all I have for y'all. I hope this was helpful because, child, I really wish that I had some type of information of any of this stuff. Just even going into training, I feel like it wasn't even really said too much during training with something. So, hope this helped. I love y'all. Be on the lookout for the next video as far as the tips I have, not tips, but I don't know, just my thoughts of flying now that I have put almost 100 hours in to this day. So I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for always vibing with me. Thank y'all for flying with me, and I will catch y'all next time.